the most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real-world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Turn 3 Racing Network. As tonight, we are here at Daytona International Speedway, the world center of racing, as the NSRA Sunday Select Series presents the Key Realty 75 here at Daytona. Thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Hope everyone is strapped in and holding on tight. In the booth with me is none other than the infamous, the outstanding, and the devilishly handsome Randy Post.
What's going on, KR? Glad to be here. Make my broadcasting debut again.
Well, we're glad to have you, and we look forward to joining us here tonight. And of course, I do want to thank PADD, People Against Distracted Driving, as they are the NSRA title sponsor. And of course, who could forget Kubota, as I struggle week in and week out to say the name.
You can't say Kubota?
Yeah. At one point, I made a slip of the tongue and said like Kabuta or something stupid, and then I couldn't get it out of my head.
Yikes.
Yeah, it was serious cringe. The drivers are out on the track here as they are in the final 45 seconds of warm-up. As we look at our point standings, keep in mind we do have drivers who are locked in on points, and that would be everybody up to and including J.R. Johnson, as he is tied up for 16th place right now. So he is going to be locked in, everyone ahead of him in the point standings. And that means David Gainforth, Hunter Reynolds, Sean Stevens are going to have to qualify here on time. But right now, it looks like we have less than 33 drivers who have been out to turn a practice lap. So maybe we won't be sending anybody home here tonight. So Randy, our GW Graphics point standings, DJ Mitzel sitting on top of that leaderboard.
Yeah, I'm looking right now. We're at 32 drivers registered for the race today, so unless 2 more people show up, we won't have to send anybody home.
Practice is over, and we're going to move on into qualifying as the green flag flies on our 10-minute qualifying session. Drivers anxiously waiting to get out on the track, and the first one to make his way out onto the speedway is the 37 machine of J.R. Johnson. He begins to accelerate out of pit lane and down into turn 1. Randy, you yourself, no stranger to super speedway action.
No, I'm not. Got quite the resume for super speedway driving, I guess you could call it, and turned many laps around Daytona here.
All of those laps turned, and not only that, but
still no talent.
No, I've seen you race. You're very talented at taking out the field.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You know, you gotta be good at something.
Gotta be good at something. The 37 machine working up to speed right along the high side on 3 and 4, making his way into the tunnel turn and starts his first time lap. Several other cars have made their way out on the track as well. So Randy, anybody you watching in particular?
Not right now, just kind of keeping up with J.R. Johnson. I'm kind of a huge fan of like the whole Kubota orange paint scheme he's got going on. It looks really clean. And just watching his line and how he's keeping it on the high side, you know, burn that fuel, getting it up to speed. That's the typical Daytona line here for a 2-lap qualifier. So just kind of watching how these guys are doing it and seeing what kind of things I could learn.
All right, well, while you're watching the 37 machine, I want to check in on the 04 of Mark Mann. And as always, it's kind of become a tradition, Randy. I know you haven't been in the broadcast booth with me for a while, but I don't know why it started, how it started. I just know I have to. Mark Mann, this one's for you, bud.
Oh, are we doing that now?
I mean, I have an adult soda. Does that count?
I got you.
So Mark Mann in the 04 gets 2 beer cracks for the price of 1 as he dives down to the yellow line to begin his fast lap. So Mark Mann gonna try. You know what? If he doesn't put it on pole, we're just gonna have to put him in disgrace land.
Or get another adult beverage.
Or, well, I've only got 1 left.
I got you.
All right, go ahead and send it my way.
Coming over.
Johnson does put it on pole for the moment as we look at our qualifying drop down. So the 37 machine with the fast qualifying lap for the moment. Mark Mann still working on his quick time. The 9 machine of Pondo Co. sitting in 4th place.
I was just watching Mark Mann a little bit, and he was able to paint that yellow line in the corners. I think he's got a real chance here at putting something up. Oh, second. He got second by 6/1000ths of a second. That is, wow.
Les Levy in the 62 machine running a new paint scheme out here tonight. Right now finds himself in 28th spot. Paul Servant in the 3 has taken over the top spot. He sits on pole position for the moment. Les Levy down on the apron. He's going to move from 28th all the way up into 7th place. A good qualifying effort for the 62.
I'm looking at David Anderson right now. It looks like he's on his flyer lap right now, or coming to the line to finish it. He's put down a 1:66. That's good enough to put him in 2nd place right now.
Anderson laying down a heck of a good lap in that 44 machine. 2nd place for him. Dana Osborne in the 88 finding himself in 3rd place. Red, white, and blue all over that 88 machine. Johnson falling to 4th place. As most of our drivers have qualified, we have had 28 drivers take a qualifying time. We do have exactly 33 drivers in the field. No one out on the speedway for the moment.
We got Stephen Herman sitting on pit road. I wonder if he's going to put down a lap at all.
So Herman in that 7-Eleven machine has 5 minutes left to go in this qualifying session. And he is one of the only drivers at the end of pit road waiting to go qualify. Drivers who have not turned a time yet: the 011 of Jason Kinzer, the 48 of TJ Buck, and in fact, qualifying is going to be advanced, and we are going to move straight into tonight's starting lineup. So how about that? I was not ready for that and did not get to play the national anthem.
Oof.
Oof. You know what? Let's go ahead and do the anthem. Nobody go anywhere. We'll be back to bring you tonight's starting lineup.
We take you down onto the track for our opening ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Please remove your hats.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous flight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs burst bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Turn 3 Racing Network as the drivers have started to roll out for tonight's race. On pole, our GW Graphics starting lineup, the 3 of Paul Servant and the 44 of Dana Osborne. Row 2, I'm sorry, that was David Anderson. Row 2 is going to be the 88 of Dana Osborne and the 37 of J.R. Johnson. Row 3, Hunter Reynolds, Mark Mann. Row 4, Chris Akers, Daniel Harrington. Row number 5, Les Levy and Donald Bennett. Row 6, Sean Stevens, Chris Whitaker. Row 7, the 21 of Daniel Holloway and Pondo Co. Row 8, D.J. Mitzel, your 2-time race winner, and the 18 of Ben Peterson. Row 9, Lynn McNeese, Roy Grandy. Row 10, the 343 of Russell Hancock and Rick Greenaway. Row 11, Gary Whitmer Jr. and David Overstreet. Row 12 is Douglas Johnson and Russell McCarron. Row 13, David Booth, J.D. Crow. Row 14, David Gainforth, Peter Bailey. Row 15, Jason Kinzer and T.J. Buck. And finally, row 16 will be Stephen Herman and Todd Poston. That is your GW Graphics starting lineup. Paul Servant in the 3 machine. Down on the inside here as we go. Green flag racing, 75 laps coming your way. And the 3 machine gets an early jump as the 37 now has to deal with the 88 of Dana Osborne jumping up in front of him. And just like that, the yellow flag is going to come out. Gainforth in trouble here along with Stephen Herman at the back of the field. Todd Poston looking like he's slow as well.
Yeah, I did get to catch the tail end of that. It looked like a couple people were having some connectivity issues, and it just kind of caused a massive pileup. You know, having connectivity issues at the beginning of a Daytona race like that can definitely cause some issues right away.
So very quickly, the field gets the green flag, and then immediately the yellow flag comes out as we have several cars involved in this one. So let's take a couple looks at it. The outside lane really got stacked up. Rick Greenaway involved in that. The 11 of Roy Grandy getting a piece of it as well. Drivers do have 2 fast repairs here in the NSRA Sunday Select Series. But the yellow flag coming out very quickly here tonight. Last week we went caution free. All 75 laps were under green. Was an outstanding finish at the end, and here we are trying to kick it off once again, but the yellow flag coming out. Randy, you know as well as I do, super speedway action, it's one tough nut to crack.
It's either really good or really bad. There's no in between of super speedway racing. Either you're finishing quite happy or just kind of upset with how everything goes. And it only takes about 5 seconds for that mood to flip.
A few drivers are making their way onto pit road. One of those is the 44 of David Anderson. Started very well here tonight. An excellent qualifying effort, but he has found himself in trouble very early on.
And like you said, if they got 2 quick repairs, that's definitely helpful. I know early on in the race, if it were me, I'd be trying to take a look at how much damage I got to fix and see if it's worth taking one of those quick repairs right away, or just kind of risking it and taking it and riding around at the back for a while.
The 62 of Les Levy, one of those drivers right now, sitting inside the top 5. He's tucked in behind the 04 of Mark Mann. Dana Osborne in the 88, your race leader. We do have a car between our race leader and the pace car. In fact, it looks like we got a couple of them. We do have several drivers already going 1 lap down. The 711 of Squirmin' Herman, he is the last car on the lead lap. So looking for a wave around here. These guys, I believe, were drivers who got trapped behind the pace car as they were trying to get this race fired off.
Yeah, unless the only thing I can think of also is if they started on pit road, maybe. I wasn't paying attention to see if anybody started on pit road for this race.
Well, Randy, nobody started on pit road.
Okay.
I knew you weren't paying attention. I made that note for you.
Good,
I
good.
probably should not have wrote it in pen. I probably should have used crayon.
So while we're under caution, what kind of fuel strategy are we looking at here? What's their fuel window?
A fuel window here at Daytona, this league runs 50% fuel. We will see them come down pit road. Can happen pretty much at any time, as you know. But
Right.
max about 18 to 19 laps green flag racing.
Okay, so we're looking at approximately 20-ish laps, and you're looking at 2 or 3 stops a race?
Yep, about 2 to 3, 4, 6. Depends on the cautions too. Seen 100. It can
Right.
happen.
Right?
Rough night if you're having 100 pit stops.
Or it could be a slow night, slow driving, I guess. Was that funny? Did you get it?
I totally missed it.
Oh, okay.
John Stevens in the 27 machine right now, finding himself in 4th place. Several drivers did make their way down pit road. Hunter Reynolds in the 26 though, he stayed out and he is now the first car behind the pace car. And Randy, that Ford butt stain sitting out in front of this field, but it's getting ready to make its way one more time around, if I do say so myself, maybe 2 more times, but we'll get this fired back off.
We'll see. We got a new restart. New start to the race. Fresh, clean slate. Do it over.
We are going to see these drivers have to restart once again. Hopefully this time we won't have a serious stack up like we did. It did affect that outside lane the most, but man, towards the end of that line, a lot of drivers came crashing in. Very hard. You see that accordion effect happen almost on a regular basis here at Super Speedway Series. Sometimes that accordion at the tail end, just nowhere to go except for straight to pit lane.
So I do see they have extended the caution flag. It looks like they're having some issues getting the field realigned here. They're trying to work it out right now and get everything figured out.
So a few drivers getting the wave around last minute past the pace car. Couple other drivers still sitting on pit road. The 388 of Doug Johnson, he finds himself 3 laps down. David Gainforth in the 101 machine, he is now 2 laps down, but he has rejoined the race as Doug Johnson jacks drop on his race car. He is down and away.
I don't know about you, but I'm not seeing anybody on pit road right now.
Nope. The only car sitting on pit road is Roy Grandi and Russell McCarron, but McCarron has just left pit lane, started to gain some speed to catch up to the back end of this field.
Right on. Get this thing going.
So the lights should go out on the Ford Mustang this time. Field going to stack up 2 by 2, and we're going to send them off into green of flag racing. Hunter Reynolds in the 26 square feet of Reynolds wrap all over that machine. As the lights do go out on the pace car, Mark Mann in the 04 sitting in second place. And now we're starting to make the jump to side-by-side lineups.
Yeah, kind of curious as to how this is all going to work out. If with all the wave rounds and everything, are we going to only have a couple side by side?
Yeah, I believe we'll see just a handful of drivers in the outside lane. Sean Stevens in the 27, sitting in the outside of row number 2.
Right, and if Mark Mann and John Stevens are going to be the only guys on the outside, that would, I'm seeing other people line up on the outside, but it would be really unfortunate for those two if they were to be the only two on the outside due to the wave rounds and everything, because they would just have no help and that inside line would just be gone right away.
So coming to this restart, as things stand right now, 28 cars on the lead lap, 32 drivers out there in this field. Brandon Herndon did not make the start for the race. He has not made it out yet. We'll see if the 131 can make his presence felt here tonight. But for the moment, it is Hunter Reynolds in the 26, Mark Mann on the outside for the restart. Row number 2 going to be the 27 of Sean Stevens and the 62 of Les Levy. Pace car down and away. Hunter Reynolds able to go at any point of his choosing, and the green flag is out. And the 26 and the 04 are going to be in a great drag race heading down into turn number 1.
And it looks like they're nose and nose. Normally you see that inside line take off a little bit early. And it looks like Reynolds has a little bit of an advantage down in the inside right now, but he doesn't have anybody right on his bumper, which could come to affect him later. And having Mark Mann and the 27 on the outside locked up together.
So Mark Mann has the advantage for the moment, but heading into 3 and 4, that inside lane gonna surge forward, and now the 26 has the top spot solidly in his possession. The 62 of Les Levy trying to get to the back bumper of that 26, not able to close in on him, and the 27 of Sean Stevens all over the back bumper of the 04.
Right now, what I'm seeing after our first completed green flag lap, I am seeing the field kind of not like super spread out, but they're giving each other room, looking to make this green flag run as long as possible, just not trying to get into another situation like we had a couple laps ago. Really good on everybody's part, trying to just play it safe for a little bit, wait until later in the race to try jostling around positions and racing, I guess.
Can go on board with the 5 of Gary Whitmer Jr. Started in 21st, currently finding himself down in 23rd. He sees a mess of cars in front of him. He is tucked in behind the 011 of Jason Kinzer and to the outside of the 603 of Peter Bailey.
We do have I can't see a number on it, but we've got a black car all the way on the outside, making his way up 3 wide. It looks like it's on number 4. Of Chris Akers, making his way up to the front all by himself on that 3rd lane.
Chris Akers in that 4 machine once again finding himself 1 lap down and trying to race as hard as he can to get back on the lead lap. We saw him do this, I believe it was either last week or 2 weeks ago. This 4 machine put up a heck of an effort. Did not work out to his advantage, but man, that 4 finding himself a lap down once again here very early on into tonight's race.
And he has made his way through the field very quickly. It looks like he's in the 2nd row of cars right now, right behind Mark Mann and Reynolds.
We got one shooting down to the inside, down below the yellow line. Not sure who that is. I believe that is Russell Hancock. He is going to merge back up onto the track, but he is going to lose a ton of positions. The 343 machine now sitting in 28th spot as he rides behind the 11 of Roy Grandy.
We got the 21 and a couple other cars going around. I saw the 27 go around. Caution flag is out.
Daniel Holloway in the 21 machine getting involved in this one. So let's back it up. Let's go to our turn 3 instant replay and see what happened to the 21 machine. He is in behind the 4 of Chris Akers up in that 3rd lane. Les Levy, Sean Stevens make contact. Holloway, just the odd man out, gets caught up into that one. But Les Levy taking a hard shot here. Back this up one more time, take another look at that one as they were working their way off of 3 and 4. Levy and Stevens get together. Stevens spinning through the infield. Les Levy on the binders. A couple other drivers coming in late to the party as well.
You know, one thing after watching the replay, I'm looking and I can't tell from some of the camera angles, but Chris Akers might have gotten away lucky there because he was right in front of the wreck, so I don't think he might have gotten touched. He should be the one getting the wave around, so all that work wasn't for nothing. He should be getting back on the lead lap here.
Well, we'll see if the 4 machine ends up back on the lead lap as the pace car now takes control of the field. Mark Mann was out in front when the yellow lights came on. So he tucks in behind the pace car. Mark Mann, Hunter Reynolds, and TJ Buck, your top 3. Those 3 drivers did not pit under the first caution. The only other driver who had not made a pit stop up inside the top 10 was the 9 machine of Pondo Co. So we'll see who comes down pit road this time, who doesn't. It's going to be a bit of a crapshoot here as to who's going to do what.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a couple different strategies. I don't know. It looks like everybody's going to come down pit road. Normally, with cautions like that right next to each other, you'd see a couple people stay out, try and risk it, but it looks like everybody's going in. But we are getting close to that pit stop window. So that might be why.
Everyone coming down pit road. A few drivers have elected to stay out. Everyone else, fuel only. So far, I've only seen a few drivers come and take tires. Some of them taking tires because they have got to work on the damage on their race cars. Daniel Holloway.
Looks like Len McNeese took 4 tires, maybe some damage. He was on pit road for 17.1 seconds.
The Mark Mann in the 04 comes off of pit road as your race leader. Les Levy in the 62 machine, just in front of our race leader. So too is the 388 of Doug Johnson, and then the 101 of David Gainforth. So we'll see what the 388 and the 101 are going to do. The 62 of Les Levy down on the apron. So the field's still a bit scrambled, Randy, from that very first initial caution. But now that we've had another caution here, we see that the potential for Chris Akers to get on the lead lap isn't going to pan out because it looks like he has gone behind the wall.
Yeah, me, it looks like he's having some connection issues. That's the second time he has dropped out like that.
So the 04,
oh, go ahead.
The 04 of Mark Mann now tucked in behind the pace car as the 3 drivers between the pace car and our leader did come down pit road. That was Les Levy, Doug Johnson, and David Gainforth. They are going to end up 1 lap down. As things stands, we have 27 drivers on the lead lap. The 61 machine of DJ Mitzel, last car on the lead lap. So Randy, if you're the 61 machine, you got your work cut out for you.
Yeah, but and that's the thing with super speedway racing is things could change so fast. You know, like you could go from being 2 laps down to being a race leader in a matter of a couple laps. You know, that's what I like about super speedway racing, but I hate it at the same time.
your fortunes can change very quickly. Speaking of, I want to make sure you all join us May 10th at Talladega for the Candy Shack Motorsports 200. That is next Sunday night. Hope you all are tuned in right here to the Turn 3 Racing Network, as we are going to continue running through this season. It is only a 13 race season. Next week, race number 6.
Halfway through the season, starting to get a little bit used to racing with all these guys. You know, I know last week you said they were green flag for the entire race, and that's awesome. You get used to running around these guys, and it's just a lot of fun when you get those green flag races, you know.
Yeah, we were seeing green flag pit stops really scatter this field and really mix things up, but then all of a sudden that lead pack would come together and everyone back into formation side by side, battling it out, only to see towards the end of the race, some of those drivers, the errors started to stack up on pit road, speeding penalties and all that kind of good stuff.
You know, it's crazy how early on in a race, you're taking your green flag pit stops and everything, and you don't have a lot of super big nerves, but towards the end of the race, you start to get a little bit more nervous, like, oh no, I really need to make sure I do this perfectly, because 1 second on pit road could make or break a win or a 10th place position or 10th place finish at the end of the race at a super speedway with green flag conditions like that.
Yeah, we mentioned it. Your fortunes can change in a hurry.
Right.
The
Fortunes.
04, yeah, fortunes. The 04 Mark Man sitting on the inside of row number 1, to his outside for this restart, the 26 of Hunter Reynolds. The 3 machine of Paul Servant on the inside of row number 2, and then the 88 of Dana Osborne. Row 3, TJ Buck in the 48 machine, the 9 of Pondo Co. They make their way off a turn number 4. Lights are out on the pace car. We're going to have 60 laps to go when the green flag comes out, Randy.
Yeah, hopefully we can see some green flag pit stops. I'm really excited for that. See how these guys react with what kind of groups are going to go in and when they're going to do it, especially now that we're going to be a little bit shorter on time. You see a lot of different strategies, but the green flag is out, and it looks like Mark Mann takes the inside, and we have the caution flag out again, as I see the 26s went around and collected a bunch of cars.
And it looked like heavy contact going into the corner. Several cars smoking. The 84 Lynn Manise get it rolling. The 26 of Hunter Reynolds was out in front when this all happened. Let's go to our turn 3 instant replay and watch this on board. The 26 just going to get turned and along for the ride after that. Brings it down to a stop on the apron. We'll take one more shot at this high atop our aerial coverage. The 26 machine and the 88 going to get together. Dana Osborne looks like he just pushed up into the corner there. That is what's going to cause this big stack up. Gary Whitmer involved in the 5 machine. The 23 getting a piece of this as well as the 343. So several drivers getting torn up in this one.
And some of these guys might be on their second fast repair already. So we may see some damaged cars out there, or maybe some people retiring.
Yeah, very early to have to deal with 2 fast repairs being burnt. The 04 Mark Mann, though, was able to get through all of that unscathed. The 3 machine of Paul Servant, one of those as well. The 88 of Dana Osborne sitting in 3rd place right now, but he's down on the apron. So with the yellow flag coming out, we're going to step away for a quick little break. No one go anywhere. We'll be back to line them up and fire them off once again.
Racing. You wanted the best, you got them 4 abreast. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the World of Outlaws.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Daytona International Speedway as the field works its way behind the pace car at a slow and steady pace. Tonight's race is brought to you by People Against Distracted Driving. Check them out at PADD.org. Not only that, but tonight's race aerial coverage brought to you by Kubota. Their outstanding lawn mowing service. I kind of need a Kubota myself right now. Key Realty, the title sponsor for tonight's race, as this is the Key Realty 75 right here at Daytona. And Randy, the drivers ready to get some green flag running going. How can you as a driver overcome these quick cautions that have slowed us down at the beginning of this race?
Me personally, I'm just gonna lay back and kind of see what kind of events are gonna unfold here in the next couple laps. But I can tell you that the mood in the field here tonight is definitely not that. There's a lot of frustrations going on, and understandably. So I think that everybody just needs to take a breath and calm down. We can get this thing going.
Well, the green flag gonna fly with 55 laps to go into tonight's event. Mark Mann in the 04 has been out front for 13 laps in total so far. Hunter Reynolds in the 26 machine led for 4 laps, but he was involved in our caution here that we have right now. He finds himself all the way down into 18th place. So he's got some work to do. He's got a little bit of a hole to dig up out of. But Randy, we got a tough driver on the outside of row number 1. That is a 3 of Paul Servant.
Yeah, Paul Servant, I've seen him in a couple other series, and he's always been really good front runner and just great at super speedway racing. You know, he's always in that key spot, you know. One of those guys you got to watch out for. Not in a bad way.
Came into tonight 4 points outside of the top spot in our point standings. Right now, he would be scored as the championship leader as DJ Mitchell mired mid-pack for the moment, but pace car down in the lane. Green flag flies once again, and Mark Mann in the 04 gets a good jump. Pondo Co. caught napping. The 37 machine and the 3 on the outside lane are going to hook up quickly here and surge to the front, I would say, when they hit that backstretch.
Yeah, it looks like everybody's getting caught back up, and that's the thing with these Daytona starts and everything. Like, if you're the leader, P1, you can go at any time, but there's a cost that comes with getting a jump, you know, like that the entire pack's going to catch up to you eventually, and you're going to be a sitting duck. And it usually causes issues, so trying to keep that pack together, you're also in the risk of an accordion effect, and there's so many things that just can go wrong at Daytona, and these guys are right now doing a great job of alleviating a lot of it.
So the 3 of Servant on the outside lane, the 04 of Mark Mann down on the inside, dead even as they went into turn number 1. That inside lane, though, going to surge forward a little bit through the corner, but be watching that 9 machine of Pondo Co. to try and make the move to the outside here, coming off of either turn 4 or next lap turn 2.
You know, I recognize a lot of these names, and Pondo's one of them. As I've raced with Pondo a lot. Pondo taught me a lot of things that I know about super speedway racing. Pondo is always, he kind of lays back and waits for his moment. And I agree, he will be on the outside when he gets his chance of probably making his way to the front of the inside line.
We have had our lead pack break away just a little bit. 11 cars in this pack. Sean Stevens in the 27 machine finds himself just about 0.8 seconds ahead of Russell McCarron, as McCarron and Lynn McNeese are going to battle, but Hunter Reynolds giving Lynn McNeese a good shove. Now they're trying to catch up to this lead pack, and they might do it through turns 3 and 4. Here they come, full head of steam.
I just saw the 41 of Chris Whitaker, I think it is. He caught the apron a little bit, got a little bit loose, and allowed that back pack to kind of catch up a little bit. They're catching up to that front pack now. I don't know if they really want to be up there, but when you were saying that 0.8 is how far back they were, that's a great position to be in, because these cars with the draft, anything back from a second and a half, you could still catch a draft and get drawn up, but after 1 second, it's kind of harder. So if you stay within that 1 second buffer, you have a lot more chance to get caught up if this thing goes green for a long time. But it also gives you time, if they're wrecking in front of you, you have enough time to get low down and kind of just have some room to see what's going on. So that 0.8 second buffer is key right now.
Paul Servant in the 3 machine, your race leader. He has led for 3 laps now. He makes his way on the inside line, that yellow line. He is protecting it, but Mark Mann in the 04 makes the move to the outside. He's going to use the energy of Pondo Co. to his advantage, as they're going to go side by side into turns 3 and 4. The 44 machine of David Anderson tucked in tight behind the 3 of Servant.
Just watching the back of the front pack here, I just saw Chris Whitaker and Hunter Reynolds making their way up to the back of the front pack, and now it looks like they're going 3 wide. Chris Whitaker and Hunter Reynolds, they want to go up front. Hunter Reynolds kind of feels a little cheated that he had to be back there, since he was running up front the entire race so far. He wants to get back to his spot.
Heat wave design on that 41 machine as it makes its way along the outside wall. All of that space being used up here at Daytona. They race 3 wide into 3 and 4. David Anderson in the 44 machine. Whitaker in the 41 now finds himself all alone in the 3rd lane, as Hunter Reynolds drops down to that middle lane.
Pondo Co. looking like he's going to go up high. Yep, he's going to go up with Chris Whitaker, but he didn't commit 100%. It looks like Chris Whitaker is going to go to the back of the outside line here, tuck in behind Pondo Co., making it 2 wide again.
As the field makes its way down the Daytona backstretch, several drivers on different strategies here. We did see a couple of them come down pit road under that last caution, and a couple of them decided to stay out. So we'll see how far we can get into this fuel run, and if we stay green the whole time, who is going to be some of the first ones on the pit road.
I do have Mark Mann, Paul Servant, Pondo Co. all on 15 laps since their last pit stop. Also, Chris Akers, 12. But we know he's had some issues, so he should be good for right now, as we do have a caution.
Yellow flag coming out. We got one pointed in the wrong direction. One of those being the 02 of David Overstreet. Rick Greenaway in the 151 involved in another one here. That is, I believe, Greenaway's second one. Let's go to our turn 3 instant replay and see what happened to the 151 of Greenaway as the crash is happening up ahead. Somebody going up and over, tumbling. Heavy contact. Rick Greenaway coming in hard on the binders, just could not get it shut down in time. Take another look here at what went down. The 711 of Stephen Herman going to go up and over, tumbling hardcore. Les Levy in the 62 down on the apron trying to avoid it. David Gainforth in the 101 looks like he's going to squeeze through that one. But man, another big stack up here at Daytona.
You know, as we were saying a little bit ago, if I'm Paul Servant, Mark Mann, and Pondo Co, I'm thanking those guys for bringing out that caution. It gives them a chance to get on the same strategy as everybody else right now, because they were going to have to pit within the next 5 to 7 laps, and that would have only having 3 cars versus like a 10-car pack. It wouldn't have ended up in their favor. They kind of would have been behind towards the end of the race. It would have been cool to see how it worked out, but this kind of puts them back on pace with everybody else right now.
So the lights come back on the pace car, and like you mentioned, everyone going to end up on the same page here. For the most part, we might see someone try and stay out.
We got 1 car staying out right now, and it looks like it's Chris Akers who is laps down, so he is not able to come down right now. He is 3 laps down.
So Akers in the 4 machine, gonna try and hit pit road next time around, but everyone else into their pit stalls. Fuel going on, some cars stopping for tires, but for the most part fuel only as the drag race happens off of pit road. And it looks like Paul Servant in the 3 gonna win that race off of pit road.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy to see some of these guys going 3 wide off of pit road. I know Daytona's pit exit isn't the most forgiving, and kind of be scary with having a couple people.
Well, Randy, now that we're under yellow, you got a driver you'd like to take a moment to talk to?
Yeah, we could talk to Pondo, see how his race is going.
You want to talk to Pondo Co?
Yeah, let's bring him on up.
The Pondo Co?
The Pondo Co.
All right, well, let's see. I try and find him. Got him. Here we go. Let's see what the driver of the 9 machine, Pondo Co, has to say for himself. Randy, take this one away.
Hey, Pondo, how's it going tonight? You get a copy?
Yeah, what's going on, big guy?
Hey, so kind of just a couple of questions for you. What you want to walk me through what the strategy was, being one of 3 cars that hadn't pitted? You guys had like 16 laps on that stint. How much of like did you think you were gonna get another caution, or what was your thinking there?
Well, I mean, before that caution came out, when we went to green flag, you know, the prior restart, I had saved all the way to 7.9 gallons out of the 9.4, so I wasn't that far off because you're using quite a bit per lap, obviously, here at a 2.5 mile track. And yeah, if you got any teammates that are, you know, you're speaking to obviously during the race, then they'll go with you a little early just to you know, just to get on and off pit road clean. So as long as, and I'm pretty good at saving, at least I've proven that I believe I am. And that was the strategy, is just try to get some track position, because you see what's happened. You see what's happened by the people that's been middle and back. I mean, they've had some trouble so far this race.
Right. So walk me through what's the I guess you could say mood of everybody else right now. Is everybody else getting kind of antsy? Is everybody chilling out a little bit? What's going on down there?
They're a little frustrated with some of the OE that's going on, but outside of that, you know, you can probably see up front that we're starting to mix it up a little bit in that last little run, and you know, we're about to hit halfway point, and people's doing their fuel strategies, doing their little calculations, and trying to put themselves in the best position to be, you know, toward the end of the race. So I don't think it's our last caution, but I got a feeling we might have a long green flag coming.
Right on. Well, we won't keep you up here too long. Is there anybody you want to give shout outs and thanks to?
Yeah, I mean, you guys, appreciate what you do, and glad you come on board. And I know everybody's going through some tough times these days. We're all trying to deal with it in our own certain way, and we appreciate all the first responders and everything else. And I also want to give a shout out to Hawkeye Construction, a new company come on the car on the Hudson Hornet. And hey man, everybody else, you know, God bless.
All right, and that was Pondo Co, currently running 5th position right now. So good luck to you.
So Pondo Co finding himself one of those drivers who had a bit different strategy. But Randy, we mentioned this caution going to put everyone kind of on the same page.
Right, and it sounded like when I was talking to him, they were pretty confident in that strategy. They were going to run it out, you know.
All right, lights have gone out on the Ford Mustang pace car. Pondo Co. gonna line up third car on the inside line. Front row for this restart will be the 3 of Paul Servant and the 44 of David Anderson. Row number 2 will be the 04 of Mark Mann and the 26 of Hunter Reynolds. Reynolds making his way back forward. He was that lead car in the outside lane before he got turned, and here he is almost making a full recovery.
Yeah, it sounds like we're gonna get some clean racing here, hopefully, and see some jostling for position.
As they work their way through 3 and 4, Randy, we got 43 laps to go when the green flag flies. Gonna see a couple pit stops. If this thing goes green the rest of the way, when are you gonna try and hit pit road?
It's tough. It really is, especially with it being lap 32. That really puts it hard because you're like on the tipping point of those stops, you know. So I kind of just play it to see where I'm at, you know. But the green flag is out. Looks like Paul Servant out to the front, and that outside line was kind of sleeping. It looks like they got a whole car length on the inside line already.
Servant with a good jump in that 3 machine. Anderson in the 44 falling back a little bit as he's going to run door to door with the 04 Mark Mann. Pondo Co. all over the back bumper of Mann. And here comes the 88 of Dana Osborne. He's trying to throw his name into the hat as somebody looking to escape being that 4th car on the inside line.
Yeah, they've got quite the stacked inside line right there. Paul Servant, Mark Mann, Pondo Co., Dana Osborne, Daniel Holloway, all the first 5 cars. That's quite the powertrain right there.
Well, don't tell David Anderson that in the 44 machine. He's trying to wrestle away the race lead from the 3 of Paul Servant as he's working that outside lane. Hunter Reynolds in the 26, tucked in right behind him. You saw the 44 blink out for a moment. That is something that costs speed here in a draft pack track.
Yeah, and it kind of, if I'm Hunter Reynolds, I'm kind of a little scared because you don't know where he's coming back at. He could come back inside your car. He could come back right on your nose, and you may have to lift or maybe even hit the brakes a little bit. So good on Dana Osborne right now, giving him a little bit of room so that they can work that out.
Do want to point out that the 388 of Doug Johnson has gone behind the wall. Looks like his night is done. An early exit for him as they have packed up and headed out for the night. I will say traffic going to be nice and easy for them getting out of here. They are the only car out of this race. Brandon Herndon did not start. He sits scored in 33rd.
You think they're really going to leave already and not watch the end of the race?
I don't know. I'd be packing up and maybe try and stick around, watch the race a little bit. Depends on how frustrated I was.
Yeah, you're right. We're taking lap 36 right now. We have 40 more laps coming to halfway here shortly, and a lot of racing left to be done. You know, at least 2 more pit stops, I do believe.
Yeah, I think we're going to have 2 more stops if this thing stays green the rest of the way.
One of them may be, if it stays green, if my calculations are correct, which they usually aren't, one of them may be a splash and go, just get a couple gallons in it and try and make it to the last couple laps.
Yeah, you're about 4 to 5, maybe 7 at the most laps away from doing this in 1 more stop.
Right,
so,
where we've already got 7 laps on this stint, so I don't think it's possible unless you're really good at saving gas.
Well, we know 2 cars not saving fuel right now. That is the 3 of Paul Servant and the 04 of Mark Mann. These 2 drivers out in front of their respective lanes. Mark Mann on the outside, Paul Servant down on the inside. Pondo Co has made his way to second car on the inside lane, and now he is going to move up to the high side, try and take that lead away from the 3 of Servant.
Yeah, earlier we were saying if Pondo had the chance to get onto the outside lane, he was going to take it, and the second he got clear, he was up there. So I expect to see Mark Mann push him out to the, and we got a big wreck behind him.
Big stack up, big one involved here. Man, oh man, that is more fingers and toes than I can count getting caught up in this crash. One of those being the 11 machine of Roy Grandy. Let's go to our turn 3 instant replay and see how this all shook out. The 11 machine down on the inside, the 603 of Peter Bailey going to touch Dana Osborne. TJ Buck goes airborne. And then everyone else kind of piles in with nowhere to go. A lot of cars up in smoke on this one, Randy.
Yeah, it was kind of a cluster. It looks like the 603 went up a little bit, maybe just not realizing someone was up there and kind of just caught the rear fender of Dana Osborne and just happened to be in the middle of the pack of the backpack, and there's nowhere for anybody to go. You know, it's kind of hard to miss that when you're doing 200 miles an hour 2 inches apart from each other.
Yeah, it is difficult to keep those cars on razor blade edges at 200 some miles an hour, just running inches off of each other. But the 9 machine of Pondo Co gonna say thank you very much. That caution came out while he was scored out in front. Paul Servant now being shown in second place. But Randy, I think we are going to see a jam-packed pit road because the fuel window is open to make it on just one more stop.
Yep, I agree. One more stop after everybody comes down pit lane this time, and they should be good to go. Now, if they gotta empty this tank first.
Yeah, several drivers on the pit road. In fact, we're going to see all the lead lap cars head to pit lane. The 3 machine sliding into his pit box. Everyone into their box cleanly inside the top 10. Down and away goes the 9 of Pondo Co, but just cannot beat the 3 of Paul Servant off of pit road. That first pit lane once again doing justice to the 3. But guys, we're going to step away for a break. No one go anywhere. We'll be back to fire them off one more time.
Racing. You wanted the best, you got them 4 abreast. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the World of Outlaws.
Welcome back to the Turn 3 Racing Network, as tonight we're here with the NSRA Sunday Select Series as they present the Key Realty 75 here at Daytona International Speedway. The lights have gone out on the Ford Mustang. And Randy, first of all, I want to thank you very much for joining me here tonight. Second of all, we're getting ready to fire them off again. The 3 of Paul Servant down on the inside, the 9 of Pondo Co on the outside for this restart.
Yeah, let's see these cars get up to 200 miles an hour down the back straight and kind of do some bumping and shoving, jostling for position, and enjoying watching from the broadcast booth. You know, it can be quite daunting and frustrating being a driver in one of these packs sometimes.
Yeah, it's not the easiest thing in the world to do. Everyone on equal setup. This is a fixed setup league. And so you might think, well, if everyone's on equal setting, it comes down to driver. Well, super speedways are a little bit different. Comes down to driver, sure. It also comes down to making the right moves at the right time, hooking up with the right person, and trying to make the moves count and be very efficient at it.
Yeah, it's not as easy as put your throttle foot down all the way and turn left. You know, there's a lot more that goes into super speedway racing, and ask anybody on the iRacing service and they'll tell you that.
Pace car down and away. Paul Servant in the 3. Gonna get on the throttle as we go green flag racing once again. Pondo Co gonna try and keep pace with him in that outside lane. Mark Mann in the 04 closing in quickly to the back bumper of Savant as they head off into 1 and 2. Now the 18 machine, that is a driver we haven't talked a whole lot about. Ben Peterson, second car in the outside lane.
He was running towards the mid to the back of the pack earlier. He's made his way up to the second car in the outside lane. See what he can do pushing Pondo back here. I know earlier we were saying Paul Servant, Mark Mann, and Pondo were all on that same strategy, so I'm wondering if they've got something working together, if Pondo's going to kind of hold that lineup a little bit, let Mark and Paul go.
Well, Servant in the 3, out in front. He has led for 16 laps. Both he and Mark Mann have paced this field for 16 laps. We have 32 laps left to go here in the 75 lap event. Keep in mind, if we need it, we will use a green-white checkered. And the 44 of Anderson making a move to the outside. David Anderson trying to take over the race lead.
Now, something was up with Dana Osborne. I know he was just right up front, and I saw him on the outside kind of go to the back of the outside lane.
As they work their way into 1 and 2, Servant out in front has been unchallenged here for the moment. Anderson trying to get to him. Pondo Co working over the back bumper of the 44 machine. A little bit of housekeeping. We do have 28 cars on the lead lap. David Overstreet in the 02. He's the first car scored any number of laps down, and well, right now that number of laps down is 2. Chris Akers still out on track. He is 4 laps down, and the 011 of Jason Kinzer has called it a night. He was involved in our most recent caution, and the damage too much on that 011 machine. He has gone behind the wall, packed up early and headed home.
It's really unfortunate to see some of these guys leaving already. We still got a lot of racing left, and if you just can't get the car going, it's unfortunate.
Meanwhile, at the front of the field, Pondo Co. in the 9 machine has the advantage for the moment on the race lead. Anderson in the 44 now down on the inside lane. He has worked his way around the 3 of Servant, but Pondo Co. trying to come to the line and be scored as the race leader. And that one very close, but it is going to go to Pondo Co. Our lead pack right now sits at 21 cars strong. If you want to count these two drivers who are just a little bit behind. They are closing in quickly, though.
I did just see the 27 car. He was one of the front runners a little bit early, but he was down low with a lot of damage, getting lapped by the main pack right now.
And I do believe the 37 of J.R. Johnson has popped an engine. He is smoking. He is making his way down onto pit road. Though he may have overheated that thing, pushing as hard as he can. We'll see if he can get back out there. I've lost track of who has had to use a fast repair, who is still able to have one in their back pocket. But Johnson, he's going to be digging himself out of a hole here.
I'm wondering if he got some nose damage maybe and had some stuff blocking the radiator and just didn't realize and wasn't paying attention to the water temp, and she just went skyrocket.
Ben Peterson in the 18 machine now finding himself in that outside lane, challenging for the race lead. For the moment, he has the advantage, but down into 1 and 2, that inside lane a little bit quicker. As you see, Johnson and Stevens, who both hit pit road at the same time, are going to exit pit road at the same time, and now they find themselves 1 lap down.
I do see a car, third car on the outside. We haven't talked about it all tonight. JD Crow, he's new to the front of the pack, holding up pretty well, looking like he may be a contender for tonight's win as of right now.
Crow in that 17 machine has had a few strings of, well, let's say solid races. No victories here yet, but 2 top 10s, 1 top 5. Still very early in the season, and JD Crow has managed to put himself 3rd place in the point standings by doing just what you say. Kind of a quiet drive, but quietly makes his way to the front.
As they are 3 wide right now, there is a 3rd line forming up. It was on the outside of JD Crow as I was talking about him, but Dana Osborne, Daniel Holloway, and Chris Akers making their way back to the front. I'd expect to see Chris Akers and Dana Osborne on the front of both of those lanes here shortly.
We go on board with the 88, trying to make his way to the front of the field using that 3rd lane. We have 25 laps to go, about 8 laps away from green flag pit stops. This fuel window, though, is going to open up in 5 laps. So we'll see how this is all going to play out. And I'll tell you, I hate trying to be a crew chief in these situations.
Me personally, I'm taking gas and go. We did just have an opportunity to take tires. If you filled up, you should have taken 2. Just gas and go. Get enough to go to the end. If you have to take a full tank, in this case a half tank, you may as well take 2 tires, slap some new skins on it, and get out of there.
Anderson in the 44 machine carrying us on board. A little bit of a wiggle coming up off the corner, running side by side. Very close racing action here. They make their way down this Daytona backstretch. Pondo Co. out in front. Ben Peterson trying to take the lead away from him. That 18 machine doing all he can in that outside lane.
There was definitely no room given by the 18 and the 41 coming off of turn 2 there. Very tight racing. We do have one go below the yellow line. He is back on track. It looks like it was Hunter Reynolds able to collect it and not cause any issues. Paul Servant on the outside lane by himself, dropping down into the outside lane again in front of Daytona Osborne. Maybe gonna see those three go three wide again, as we do have the 18 and the 44, as well as the other cars going around right now.
Pondo Co goes for a spin, gets it straightened, and gathers himself back up. The 3 of Paul Servant has gone around as well. And that all started at the front of the field. Let's go to our turn 3 instant replay and watch how this goes down. The 44 and the 18 are just going to make contact down the back stretch. Peterson and Anderson. Pondo Co goes spinning, but it's a lazy spin. He ends up pointed back in the right direction. Daniel Holloway in the 21, one of those drivers not so fortunate to land in the right way. We go on board with the 21. You see the contact happen ahead. Then everyone trying to find a lane to go racing, or squeeze through, I should say. Holloway in the 21 on the binders. Just a sit and duck there as he got smacked. So Randy, yellow flag coming out. And this time, once again, we are just on the outside of some pit strategy.
Yeah, it's tough. Ugh. I'd hate to be these guys right now, trying to figure out what to do and where I'm going to be at. But we do have new colors up front. We've got Chris Whitaker and Ben Peterson as 1 and 2 right now.
So Whitaker in the 41 going to bring the field down onto pit road. I got to tell you, I think that's the right move to make. If I'm one of these drivers, I am going to come down pit road. I may even come down pit road one more time to top this off before we go green flag racing. Try and cover a green-white checkered attempt.
Yeah, we're coming up on 20 laps to go. I definitely am. I'm definitely coming around a second time to top it off. Just get that little bit of extra gas, that extra couple laps or so, and be good to go.
So everyone racing off of pit road. Whitaker in the 41 going to win that battle as he finds himself scored in first place. Several cars getting torn up in this most recent caution, having to use a fast repair if they got them. We'll see who ends up going behind the wall, if anyone. But I do think, for the most part, everyone in that yellow is going to hammer out the damage or use a fast repair and try and get back out there.
I don't think if I'm able to hammer out damage, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm not going to use a fast repair if I've got one in the bank. I'm going to save it.
Wouldn't it be nice to have 2 fast repairs right now?
Right? I'm thinking, I don't know, but the 31, I haven't seen him wrapped up in too much tonight. Todd Poston, I haven't seen him wrapped up in anything, I don't think. I think he might still have 2.
I do believe the 31 got caught up in one of our incidences very early on. Whether or not it was enough to warrant a fast repair, I couldn't tell you. But I have seen that 31 machine sideways in a yellow.
Guess I need to get the old eye surgery again.
No. Don't worry about the eye surgery. I'm probably making stuff up as I go along. We all know that is what happened. I could run my mouth faster than I could run a car. So they gave me a microphone and said, quit driving, start talking.
I don't know. You always beat me on the dirt track.
I
guess that's not hard.
It's not hard.
Oh, okay.
Glad to have you up here, Randy.
Oh, I actually, I just got word, Todd Poston has 0 fast repairs left.
So there you go.
So he has no fast repairs. I was dead wrong again.
That can happen.
Yep. Oh well.
That can happen. Sean Stevens in the 27 machine, the 151 of Rick Greenaway. They are out in front of our race leader, but trapped behind the pace car. Rick Greenaway finds himself 1 lap down right now. Sean Stevens, I am trying to figure out where he is at. He is also 1 lap down, so they may be going for the wave around here, trying to weasel their way back on the lead lap, but they're going to have to get another caution if they want to see these cars on the lead lap. And I'll tell you what, if we get another caution, we may not see anyone come down pit road.
It'll be tough. We are on the verge of pit stops. It's so close. I don't know anything.
It is a tough call to make right now, but lights have gone out on the pace car. Greenaway and Stevens down and away to catch up to the tail end of this field as they start to stack up side by side. The 41 of Whitaker looking for his first race win of the season. Down on the inside of row number 1 for this restart. On his outside will be the 44 of David Anderson. Then Hunter Reynolds in the 26 and Russell McCarron in the 23 machine will make up row number 2.
We just talk about something real quick. Have you ever had Famous Dave's?
Yeah, I got one 45 minutes away from me out by Kansas Speedway.
It's delicious.
It is pretty good. I love... All right. True story. Love their devil's sauce when I'm eating it. I don't like it after that.
Oh boy.
Yeah. It's good. So good.
All right, pace car lights are out, coming through 3 and 4 right now. These guys are ready to go with under 20 laps to go right now. I'm about as excited as these guys are to get this thing going. I want to see some racing.
We're going to fire it off with 18 laps to go. Keep in mind, green, white, checkered if we need it. Pace car eyeballing that pit entry. It makes that left-hand turn. Whitaker, Anderson. Here we go. Green flag out. We are back underway with 18 laps to go here in the Key Realty 75.
Looks like that inside line got a little bit of a head start. The outside line making its way be nose to nose with the inside line though, but they are falling back a little bit now. We'll see them rally up here shortly and get back nose to nose and have some good tight racing.
We go on board with the 26 of Hunter Reynolds. He is tucked in tight behind the 41 of Chris Whitaker as they make their way into 3 and 4. Reynolds nice and smooth on the wheel, not jerking it back and forth, not having an aggressive turn in, letting you know those tires very fresh, even though it will look like a fuel only stop for the 26.
Yeah, that inside line is taking off a lot more. It's either taking off or the outside line just isn't working very hard to get up front. Kind of surprised to see that right now.
Anderson in the 44 trying to close the gap to the race leader. He has trapped the 26 of Hunter Reynolds in second place on that inside lane, but here comes that outside lane down the Daytona backstretch. Anderson closing in on Whitaker.
Looks like Karen behind him is pushing the daylights out of him, so you keep seeing him peek out. He's trying to get some air, cool that motor down a little bit, and push him forward as much as he can, because he's not getting very much help from the 62 behind him.
We go on board with the 23 of McCarron. Started in 24th place, right now finding himself as the 4th car in our running order, but second car outside lane. Famous Dave's just in front of him, the 44 machine of Anderson. These two trying to work together to make that outside lane a little bit faster, but with 16 laps to go, these drivers know it is go time. The pushes are going to start to be a little more intense, a little less room going to be given down the straightaways. Everyone going to be pushing hard to try and secure the best finishing spot they can.
15 to go. I don't think we're going to need any more gas, but I could be wrong.
Well, if you need some gas, go to Taco Bell. It's 59 cents a taco.
That's flat. Isn't that like $1 for a soft taco nowadays?
I don't know. I quit going to Taco Bell a long time ago.
I didn't.
Oh, well, how much is it for a taco then?
Well, I don't know. I just tell them what I want. They tell me how much it costs.
Oh, well, go get your gas from there. We use fuel here in race cars.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Whitaker in the 41, your race leader. Hunter Reynolds staying right behind him in that 26 machine. Anderson in the 44 still on the outside lane. Les Levy in the 62. Looks like maybe he's trying to lay back a little bit to get a run. We might see that 62 machine try and make a 3-wide move here before too long.
I don't know what we're gonna see. I'm kind of have mixed opinions on what we're gonna see right now. We could see some 3-wide. We could see these guys just kind of sit tight and finish the race under green flag. I don't know what we're gonna see.
As they make their way onto the front stretch, this time by going to be 13 laps to go. Paul Servant in the 3 machine, who stayed on pit road for 4 tires and then came back down and topped off. He has found himself mired deep in the field, all the way down in 14th spot. He is one of the only drivers who took 4 tires under that last caution, so we'll see if that plays into his favor in any way, but he is stuck down on that inside lane.
You know, being that far back in the pack, taking that extra fuel, that's really not that bad of a decision right now, because being in the back of the pack, you got all that air coming up. We do have one in the wall. There's the red and green car. I'm not 100% sure who that was, but he's following back right now. But as I was saying, he got all that air going off the top of your car. You're not using the throttle as much, so you're off the throttle, saving gas. I think that's a good call on Paul Servant's part.
We'll see how it plays out for him. Servant did come into tonight second place in the point standings. So a gamble here for the 3 machine, but right now the battle is at the front of the field. Chris Whitaker in the 41 machine, David Anderson in the 44. Those 2 drivers leading their respective lanes. Hunter Reynolds in the 26 trying to push the 44. Russell McCarron in the 23 trying to push the 44. Mark Mann in that 04 machine, early race leader, trying to figure out if he can win this race or not. And then that is Todd Poston in the 31, just behind Mark Mann.
Which, if you didn't know, Todd Poston has 0 fast repairs.
So Poston on his last car, got to take care of the equipment this time. Can't make any silly mistakes. Got to keep the eyes up. Firm grip on the steering wheel. Not too tight though. Don't want to wear yourself out.
Which is very easy to do. This track is definitely mentally straining.
I used to fall asleep on these kind of races. I was not a big fan of super speedways when I was out driving on a regular basis. The only one I liked was the bumpy Daytona track, because you actually had to get up on the wheel and drive a little bit.
Yeah, you had it on rails. Is that what they say these days? Is that race car terminology now?
Only when the car's hooked up.
With the tow truck?
No, that's what happens when I drive.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's coming around inside of 10 laps to go. Going to be 9 more circuits around this 2.5-mile super speedway. And then Chris Whitaker continues to lead, doing an excellent job out in front. You got to wonder if the 44 of Anderson is just sitting off the door of the 26 of Hunter Reynolds for a reason. and not letting that 26 try and make a move to the outside. We haven't really seen Anderson make a hard charge to the front of the field just yet, but the 3 machine of Paul Servant on the outside trying to make a 3-wide battle.
Chris Akers pushing him. Also have the 11 of Roy Grande behind them a little bit, but still helping out.
Akers in the 4 machine, several laps down, but he is going to give a good shove to the 3 of Servant as they are along the wall. Akers going to send sparks flying, but he stays in the throttle, and the 3 continues his charge to the front of the field.
I think he's he's so close to being scored as the leader. It's crazy. And there he is. He is scored as the leader as of right now, clearing the 44.
So the 3 machine made a bold move, now leads the charge in the outside lane. The 41 of Whitaker still down on the inside, but Paul Servant looking for his first win of the season. Can the 3 pull it off here tonight? We got 7 laps to go, and one engine looks like it has let go. Now we got cars scrambling, and everyone's going to try and hold on to it.
Looks like Pondo Co. went around bringing out the caution flag.
Daniel Harrington in the 82, missing his front clip. The damage on that thing quite extensive, and the yellow flag has come out. Let's go to our turn 3 instant replay and see what happened here as we look at the 82 of Harrington and go on aboard. You can see the stack up happening. Pondo Co. gets turned. Contact with Daniel Harrington. Everyone else may be able to squeeze through. Got on the binders, got it shut down. But Randy, another caution coming out. What did you see there in that one?
I think it was just a untimely engine blow, and it just being mid-pack, there was nowhere for anybody to go. You know, that car just like shuts off, so it loses all momentum going forward. All the guys behind him just had nowhere to go. Nothing anybody could have done there.
And I think our engine victim was none other than the 26 of Hunter Reynolds. We're going to back this up, take another look at it. If we go on board. Yeah, that 26 just slowed, and he knew he was in trouble. He got hard on the brakes.
He did a good job of trying to get off the track and out of everybody's way as fast as he could, and once he realized it was gone. But it's just, you know, like I said earlier, running 200 miles an hour, two inches apart from each other, you have no room.
All right, so yellow flag flies inside of 10 laps to go. Who's going to come down pit road? Anybody going to take it? The 41 of Whitaker, first one on the pit road. The 3 of Paul Servant going to stay out, and he is going to take over the top spot.
I think we've got the makings of our own little green white checkered, maybe.
I'm not 100% sure if this is going to be one that counts as a green white checkered. So, or I should say, it may be a green white checkered, but I don't know if it's going to count as the first attempt at our one and only attempt of a green white checkered.
Can I tell you what I do know?
That you enjoy doing a broadcast with me?
Well, that too. We are on lap 71 of 75. That's what I do know. That's what I do know. We've got some great racing ahead of us. We're gonna see some 3 wide, I'm guessing, and I bet you that the finishing margin is within 2/10. Within 1/10. 1/10 of a second. We're gonna see a close finish. 0.1.
0.1.
0.1. We're gonna see a good finish.
Well, Paul Servant in the 3 machine did exactly what I would have done under the previous caution. Came down the first time for fuel, stopped for 4 tires because he knew he was going to hit pit road one more time. And then when they got the 2 to go, came down pit road, topped off, got all the fuel he could into that thing, and that 3 machine has 4 fresh tires from, well, I shouldn't say fresh, but 4 tires on it 14 laps ago. And here at Daytona, tires aren't everything, but this late in the race, I wouldn't mind having some fresh ones.
So, remember earlier when I said I think it's going to work out for him?
Uh-huh.
I think it's working out for him.
Looks like it.
Might be. And if he pulls it off, that'll be his first win of the series, right?
It will be his first win of the series.
Well, would you just looky there?
Don't look now, though, but that 31 of Todd Poston looking to try and take it away from him.
I don't know. He doesn't have any fast repairs, though, so...
That's all right. We are working our 7th caution of the night. 16 lead changes among 8 different drivers here tonight. Lights are on the pace car for the moment. Paul Servant scored as your race leader. Todd Poston sitting in 2nd. Mark Mann, 3rd car in this line. Don't count out the 62 of Les Levy. And rounding out your top 5, the 48 of TJ Buck, who at one point was confused as to whether he was a race car or an airplane.
I do believe I've heard that before.
Well, I guess that's what happens when race cars get airborne.
I think we said that about one of a different series driver a long time ago.
It can happen to the best of them.
Yep, sure can. Absolutely.
Lights have gone out on the pace car. Field gonna stack up 2 by 2. Paul Servant down on the inside for the restart. On his outside will be the 31 of Todd Poston. Row number 2 for this restart. Mark Mann in the 04 and the 62 of Les Levy. Peter Bailey in the 603 here with a strong showing late in the race. Haven't really talked a lot about the 603. Started 28th, but now sitting as that 4th car inside lane. So we'll see what he can do here in the closing laps of this race.
Yeah, he's looking to be he's shooting like an arrow here. I bet you don't get that joke because he's sponsored by Archery Company. It's okay.
No, I have a PSE.
Oh, so you don't shoot good?
No, I don't do anything good. I just buy the cheap stuff.
I'm excited because I still think we're gonna get a 0.1 finish, and we are gonna have an unofficial green-white checkered here. Unofficial meaning, like, you know what I mean.
Well, so far my timing and scoring is showing that it is not extended outside of its 75 lap scheduled distance. So when they take the green flag, there will be 2 laps left in this race. We can get to the white flag. That will be the final flag, or what will signify that the next flag will end the race as the green flag flies once again. How many more times can we say flag?
Well, Paul Servant takes the green flag and gets a great jump on that inside line. He's got Todd Poston on his outside, knocking on the door, saying, "Hello, I'm here. We'll see what these guys can do. Battle it out."
Down the Daytona backstretch, Paul Servant hunting his first win of the season. So too is the 31 of Todd Poston. As they battle side by side, the 31 machine going to fall back a little bit here through 3 and 4. Servant trying to get the 04 of Mark Mann to his back bumper. Les Levy in the 62 pushing that 31 hard, and Poston going to drop down to the inside as he clears in the tunnel the 3 of Servant. Final lap around here at Daytona.
Now we've got Les Levy, the first car on the outside, I'd expect to see him try and put a challenge on Todd Poston here for the win, as it's going to get hairy, I think.
They're crashing behind them, but the stay green because it is the final time around. Several drivers involved in that one.
And here comes Les Levy on the outside.
Les Levy in the 62 trying to make something happen. Final few feet of the race here tonight at Daytona, but Todd Poston has the momentum. He has the advantage, and at the line, it is going to be the 31 of Todd Poston picking up his first win of the season.
What a good finish. That was awesome to see as he sends it airborne in turn 1.
Hit the jump at turn 1 to celebrate. Too bad he couldn't do a kick flip and make Tony Hawk proud.
Awesome end to this race.
So the 31 picks up the race win. Paul Servant gonna bring it home in second, and third place goes to the 62 of Les Levy. What an outstanding race here tonight. Little caution heavy, but still an exciting night. And Todd gonna make his way onto the front stretch to celebrate his race win, picking up his first win of the season.
Can I just say something real quick?
No.
My prediction about the .1 finish was correct.
Yeah, we saw Paul Servant come home in second place, 0.054 seconds, as the 31 machine burns it down. His teammates coming to celebrate that race win. The 21 Hershey Kisses machine of Daniel Holloway giving a kiss to the 31. So guys, we're going to set up our post-race show. No one go anywhere. We'll be right back to talk to our podium finishing drivers. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to our post-race show. Todd Poston in the 31 going to be your race winner here tonight, and I have caught up with him here in Victory Lane. The 31 machine celebrating, tearing up the race car. Todd, you made some work for your body shop guys, but I don't think they're going to argue too much about it here this week.
Not too much there at the end.
So that the 31 machine kind of came out of the woodwork late in this race. You only led 2 laps here, but one of them was the most important. Tell us a little bit about that race out here tonight.
War of attrition to stay at the front with all these wrecks that we had. At the end, had no fast repairs and just hopefully wanted to keep it in the front.
Well, you managed to do just that. Kept it in front. 2 laps led for you. That 31 machine going to pick up its first win of the season. Not only that, you edged out Paul Servant, Les Levy, Mark Mann, had the momentum on that high side. Tell us what about making that move there in the final restart.
Yeah, I knew that we had to get to the front of in front of him at the end there. The way he runs, I knew that if he got that clear lane, he was going to probably walk away and win.
All right, Todd. Well, any shout outs or thank yous you'd like to give for this first place win?
just want to thank my team, 3Y Motorsports. Thank you guys for broadcasting every week, and we'll come out and do it again next week.
All right, that is Todd Poston, your race winner. Once again, congratulations, Todd. Nice job out there tonight.
Thank you.
We're going to move on to second place finisher, and that is the 3 of Paul Savant. And Randy, you've caught up with him.
Yeah, Paul, how's it going tonight? Second place. How's it feel?
Finally, it feels good to finish one of these in good position.
Yeah, you had quite the dominating race. Really, you were up front all night long. You got caught up in a couple little incidents, but I seen you guys had some strategy throughout the entire night. I was watching the stints, and early on, you guys were out there with the most laps in a stint very early on, and then just seeing your guys' strategy work out late in the race. You came back for a second time down pit road, and it really looked like it played off. And we had talked about that a little bit, and it looked like it paid off, I guess.
Yeah, we topped off there, being back there anyway, so we topped off. We knew if it was going to be tight. I think we had like 17, 18 laps to go. We topped off, make sure we can make it to the end. And with that last yellow, we were able to save enough to make it, even if we had another green, white checkered. So we were good. A few guys had to pit on that lap, had to pit, and we were good.
Awesome. Yeah, like I said, dominating night for you. Really, you led quite a few laps up front. Saw you working with Mark Mann and Pondo Co all night. So what was are you guys like teammates? Were you working together through all that, or were you just kind of there?
I have my team. I work with my teammates, but I got a lot of buddies out here and a lot of guys I like racing with, and I'll work with them too. I mean, it's not just my team. We're all here to have some fun, and you hope guys that aren't on your team are going to help you, as I help them. So I try to play it clean and race clean with everybody.
All right. Well, I won't keep you here too long. I'll let you go celebrate second place finish. Anybody you want to thank and give shout outs to?
Candy Shack, my team. I raced with Mark all night, and Pondo Co. I mean, Mark Mann, he's an awesome driver. Todd, when he got in front of me, I knew he'd get in front of me because I seen Mark Mann had some nose damage and he couldn't push that well. So once Todd got in front of me, I was just pretty much dedicated to his bumper and tried to get at least a second or third place. So, hats off to them. Hats off to you guys. Glad you're on board, and it's great to be up here for finally.
Right on. Well, congrats again. And I do believe KR has caught up with third place, number 62 of Les Levy.
I have caught up with our third place finisher, and that is the 62 of Les Levy. Les, you bring it home in third as you are trying that outside lane through the tunnel turn. Tell us a little bit about your race.
Yeah, KR is
and
tough.
That's all the time we have for Les. Everyone, I thank you very much for joining us. Oh, wait, no, Les is still here.
Oh, wait, are we done?
No, Les, I'm not sure.
Oh, well, time for me to talk, KR. Well, let me babble.
All right, you know what? I'm going to extend the olive branch to you and let you have this moment.
All right, KR. Well, hey, tough race in the beginning for me. Went a lap down, got wrecked, got caught in some of that early junk, but kind of hung with it, saved the faster pair to the end, kind of knew it would be attrition. Tried to make a run on the outside. DJ was helping me, but Paul was pushing Todd. Paul's one of the best out there. It's great to see Todd win. Lost the teammates earlier in the race, but we kind of finished strong.
Well, Les, that 62 machine did finish strong, a third place finish out here tonight. Now, 2 fast repairs were available to everyone at the start of the race, but we saw several stack-ups happen out there. How many fast repairs did you have left?
Yeah, KR, I still had one left. That first couple of wrecks, I just kind of limped it along, got the optionals fixed, so I still had one in the bank. Thought I probably would need it. Thought we'd probably see some green-white checkers.
All right, well, the 62 played it cool and managed to bring it home in third place. And not a bad points haul for you as well. You are already inside the top 15, a driver not having to necessarily worry about making it in on qualifying time. But this third place finish here going to give you even more of a cushion and, kind of ease your stress levels a little bit in qualifying.
Yeah, definitely let the guys at the shop focus on race trim instead of qual trim. And last two races we were sliding down, so this will pull us back up. And good timing, new sponsor on board, Casamigos Tequila, first time on the car. We want to give them a shout out, and maybe we'll run this paint scheme a little more. Maybe they'll fund us a little more next week.
All right, Les. Well, big shout out to your main sponsors, but any other people you need to mention?
Yeah, I got to thank the teammates, everybody across Alliance and Checker. We cooperate a lot on these Sunday night NSRA races. Of course, Todd and DJ and all the guys from the league, Steven, we even put up with him and put on these races. And, KR, we can't forget you guys in the broadcast booth at Turn 3, the premier motorsports broadcaster on iRacing.
Well, thank you very much, Les. And man, again, congratulations on third place.
Be good, buddy.
That is Les Levy, your third place finisher here tonight. And Randy, these drivers put on a heck of a show once again. We had a few cautions here tonight. Last week, we went caution free, but tonight, not so much. We stacked them up a little bit.
Yep, just a little bit of a bumpy road. We'll come back next week and start it all over. Try again.
All right, as the drivers are done and packing up, let's go through our race results. The 31 of Todd Poston picking up your race win. Paul Servant in the 3 machine finishing in second. Les Levy finishing in third. We heard from all 3 of our podium finishing drivers. Fourth place going to the 04 of Mark Mann, and rounding out your top 5, the 61 of DJ Mitzel.
And TJ Buck finishing 6th in the 48 machine. Peter Bailey in the 603 finishing 7th. Ben Peterson in the 18 finishing 8th. Daniel Holloway in the 21 finishing 9th. And the 44 of David Anderson finishing 10th right now. That's the top 10.
11th goes to the 88 of Dana Osborne. Roy Grandy finishing in 12th. 13th, J.D. Crow in the 17. Pondo Co. finishing in 9th. Rounding out 15th spot will be the 23 of Russell McCarron.
The 30 of Donald Bennett finishing 16th. 41 of Chris Whitaker 17th. The 343 of Russell Hancock in 18th. 77 of David Booth in 19th. The 151 of Rick Greenaway in 20th.
21st will be Gary Whitmire in the 5 machine. Daniel Harrington in the 82 going to finish 22nd. 23rd, Stephen Herman in the 711. David Gainforth finishing 24th. And 25th spot, the 37 machine of J.R. Johnson.
26th going to the 84 of Len McNeese. 27th going to the 26 of Hunter Reynolds. 28th going to the 27 of Sean Stevens. 29th going to the 02 of David Overstreet. 30th going to Chris Akers in the 4 machine.
31st will be Jason Kinzer, and Doug Johnson bringing it home 32nd here tonight in our 32 car field. So guys, that is going to do it for us here tonight. The Turn 3 Racing Network proudly brings you another outstanding night of racing action. And Randy, been a while since you got to talk about everything. You want to sign us out here?
Yep. Awesome race tonight, guys. We had a little bit of a rough start, but ended up, we had a great finish, a lot of action. Overall, it was a good fun time for me. I enjoyed it. Can't wait to be back next week.
All right. We look forward to having you back next week at Talladega for the Candy Shack Motorsports. Until then, guys, stay safe, have a good night, and we will see you next Sunday night.